Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you all. Thanks for everybody. The young adults, the kids, the adults, really thank you for being here. I tell you what, I got to tell you, the last 6 months, with everything that's going on nationally, I've probably learned more than I've probably shared or taught just by being out and listening to what you have to say. I've told people, and I've told officers, what's going on now is difficult. You know, it's always difficult to be criticized for all of us, whether you're in law enforcement or any other profession. But, you know, it's very important for us in law enforcement to listen. It's more important, and that's a good rule regardless of who you are throughout your life. It's just more important to listen and to learn, because you don't know what people are feeling and what's going on if you don't do that. And you can't make changes if you don't know what those changes are that need to be made. And so, you know, it's very incumbent for us to be able to do that. And doing this right here with all the young adults and with the parents, what's been going on is changing law enforcement. It's changing the way we police. And I know Waylon said, you know, what goes on a lot of times around the country, what you see is not the same type of law enforcement you have here with our police officers. And I can tell you, every day I come to work and I pull up what we call significant incidents, and I see how the things that the police officers are having to do and what they're up against and the decisions they have to make and the way they've treated people, I'm amazed sometimes, or most of the time, at their patience and the problems that they have helped solve on a day-to-day basis. Because you have to realize that they take hundreds of thousands of calls a year. You're seeing just a few calls. A lot of those even look bad to us. I mean, I'll tell you, police officers, it bothers us probably more than it bothers you, because it's our profession that's involved in it, and it made some bad decisions. But you don't see on a daily basis thousands and thousands of interactions and really tough decisions that they've made that turn out very, very positively. And that's, you know, we're going through some implicit bias training now within our department. And one of the things I just remember, it was right here. We did a forum. We had over 300, maybe 300 people here. And again, I'm probably doing as much listening as I am talking. And a lady stands up, a mother, and she's crying. And I've never had somebody stand up in a forum like that crying over the microphone as hard as she was. And for me on stage, I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to sensitively answer this? I mean, because she had an issue, she had a problem. We put her son on the ground. We handcuffed her son, who was 17. Really great kid. Good kid. I said at the forum, it actually happened on a stop, but it actually happened at the fairgrounds during the fair. That's what we're finding out. But he's a good kid, and he's 17. And he comes home after all this, after everything he went through, because we released him. He wasn't the person we were looking for. Officers realized he didn't do anything, and they released him. And that person came home, and she was upset because he's so traumatized because he didn't think he was going to come home. That 17-year-old young man, handcuffed, sitting face down, like he sees so many other things going across the country, that a young black man was going to be shot and killed by a police officer. And I'm telling you, that just really hit home for me of what we're dealing with. Really hit home, because that is real. That is what that young man feels. Now, I can tell you, most officers are going to say, well, that's absurd. Why would we shoot that boy? Why would we do something to cause him not to go home? Why is he so fearful? Well, there's a lot of reasons why he's fearful. But one of those things is he's seeing things in the media. We're seeing things in the media. I'm not saying the media is bad. It's just what it is, whether it's social media or our news media. He's seeing that bad incident. He's seeing the Tulsa incident. He's seeing that bad incident over and over, and he's seen other instances like that over and over again. Now, does he see something one of these officers go out there do a great job and keep from having to take somebody's life? No, he doesn't see that over and over and over again because it's not played in the media, or it's not, it's not streamed, it's not sent through YouTube where they can pull it up and watch. That's real. That's what they're afraid because that's what they see and they believe. Now, we've seen bad incidents, and like I said before, but we as law enforcement officers, we have to realize that's what's going on. And we have to realize that racism is alive and well in our community and has been, and it's historical, and it still happens, and it maybe it's not as overt, it may be much more subtle than it used to be, but it exists. And being a white guy, I don't get it. I'm learning more, but I can't sit here and say I do absolutely feel it or get it because I'm white. So we have to do whatever we can to understand those issues and understand why that 17-year-old young man is afraid of us, because we can make a difference. We can stop. Minimum we can say, we're sorry. Minimum we can do is try to work with that young man and the family to try to overcome those fears in the future.